they've got just about everything they want. They've got hot water and sewerage through the camp, and the rooms have got air conditioning. There's 2 men to a room, four rooms to a hut. They've got a bar which opens at 6 o'clock every night and goes through till 10. It's very well set up, you know. Because the camp is shifted every 70 mile, 80 mile, they could have to travel up to 2 hours to get to their job in the morning and 2 hours back. So we have breakfast on here from 5:30 to 7 o'clock in the morning. Some of these boys don't get back until 8 o'clock at night, 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. And it's 7 days a week. It's long hours, continual work. They get pretty tired.
All day, every day, for 6 weeks straight, the men will work the line. After that, they'll take a 12-day breather. And then they count their money. At upwards of $600 a week, that's $3,600, unspent usually, because out here there's nothing to spend it on except grog. And if you drink too much on the line, you don't last the distance. $600 a week. That's what you earn as a welder on the Moomba to Sydney gas pipeline. 800 miles of pipe to lay, 2 miles a day to cover, conditions getting harder and harder as the line snakes out into the 50-degree heat of the centre. The goal? The Moomba natural gas fields in South Australia and a priceless energy backstop for the industrial East Coast. The pipeline. Economists excitedly talk about its impact on Australia in terms of millions of dollars. On the line, the workers are more down to earth. $400 a week for a camp labourer, $600 a week for a welder. It's good money, but it's not easy money. Good money never is.
Well, the pace, contract-wise, we want to do about 2 mile a day. And this is governed by the speed of the welders. The welders are the critical part of the operation. Depending on what they do, how much the rest of the operation do. It's very easy to gear the rest of the operations up to the speed of the welders. So we're trying to do about 2 mile a day. Job is done by automatic. This is the first time automatic welding in the field's been done in Australia. We're sort of pioneering this new process.
It's a regular MIG or metal and inert gas system, which has been used for years, but we have made it automatic. You have an inside bead that is a machine that actually runs down the pipe. The inside bead's put in by a man 85 feet from the actual weld. At the same time that this is going in, you have an outside pass going in by 2 men at the weld station. We've worked in Canada, in the United States, we've been in Europe, we've been in England, Scotland, Germany, Holland, of course in the North Sea, Poland. On this particular one, the heat and the bull dust has given us the biggest problems. The heat out here has been about 40 to 42 Celsius, and the dust has been just about like you've seen it today for about the past 10 days. We have welded in these conditions before, but here we're trying for more speed than we did, or than we would normally try for in these conditions. Here in Australia, we've got an awful long pipeline to get in, trying to get it in as soon as we can. Also, setting a precedent here is a big thing for the equipment and for the men.
Well, the automatic welder, does it do a better job than the hand welder?
No, not really. We have consistently better welds. The actual physical feeling of the man that particular day doesn't affect the machine wholly. So a situation where a man is maybe a little bit sick or he mashed his finger doesn't have any effect on that machine. It goes right on and puts the same weld in. I think it takes a special sort of man that's willing to come out in these conditions and work as hard as they work, again, under these conditions. I think it takes a man that enjoys life, enjoys seeing something put down. It's nice in the afternoon to get up on top of this pipe and look back, and you can see that you've put together 2 miles of 34-inch pipe that day.
At present, we're spread over about 45, 50 miles from the front to the back end. After it's been surveyed, the right-of-way's been surveyed, the clear and grade comes through. A couple of bulldozers and grader to clear the 80-foot easement. Following on behind the clear and grade, they rip the ground, the trench line to find out whether there's any rock. And then we've got the trenching coming through after that, which is 2 different operations. One's the Cleveland trenching, which is in good clay soil, and the other is your rock excavation with your backhoes, and where we have to blast the trench to get through the rock. has been brought to railhead at Cobar, at Mingary in South Australia and Lee Creek. They put through the double jointing mill and they come out in approximately 80-foot lengths.
Oh, it'd be about knee high at the moment, the bull dust, once it churns up properly. What the trucks are going through, the front axles and the diffs, they're just running on the bull dust all the time. The ruts just get deeper and deeper in the roads. We'd like to be 20 miles ahead of the welders, but we have problems all the time with trucks getting bogged and either through bull dust or wet weather, which we had a lot of earlier in the year. We'd like a little bit of rain, but not a great deal, just enough rain to make the roads workable. If we get too much, we'll be bogging completely, going through the surface of the roads, and the roads may be closed by local councils and shires, and the rain may have stopped and the welders are back at work for a couple of days or 3 days, but we're still unable to cart on the roads.
So they catch you up?
Yeah, they're catching us up, and at one time they got right up behind us, and there's a mad panic to get pipe, because if they catch us completely, well, they have to stop work. And it's a lot of expense to have men just sitting around idle.
Pipelines first started out in Australia, we used to talk about it and, you know, say we were going to do 1 mile or 2 mile a day. People used to laugh, just didn't think it could be done. You start talking to people in the city and they think of the sewerage that goes around the city that takes 3 weeks to do 100 yards or something, and they can't sort of imagine that this sort of job can be done with it. Well, yeah, I think we get a lot of satisfaction out of doing a big job quickly.
Actually, this has been done with an automatic welder, but there was a fault in the pipe, and the pipe had to be cut out and repaired. And to bring the automatic equipment back here to redo this weld, the cost wouldn't be feasible.
Stick welders have got, it's an art in itself. They are special welders. Takes quite a bit of learning, and it's the sort of welding they have to continually keep at to keep their hand in. Different to ordinary fabrication, steel fabrication, building construction work. They're a little bit of a breed all of their own.
Well, I served my apprenticeship in the trade as a boilermaker, and I stuck with it until I finished my apprenticeship, and then I decided that the game wasn't interesting enough for me, and that, you know, I couldn't stick it. So I looked around, and then just then the pipeline game was starting to boom, and I got into the pipeline game, and it's a different job altogether, you know. Different attitude, it's more interesting, it's different work every day. You travel around, you get to see the countryside, and the wages are much better.
I've been doing it about 13 years, you know.
Out in the bush?
Yeah, in the bush, in the dust, in the swamp, in the water, everywhere, you know, in the barges. Done it best right. George and I, we've been working together about 6 years, you know.
And you're still talking? Yes.
All depends how. Sometimes it helps.
It's a very small field. You practically know everybody in the game, you know, and it's a pretty close sort of game. You know, you get friendly with one bunch of blokes and you might travel halfway around the world and you meet them again.
You find welders, you know, but good welders not so easy to find, and plus you got to pay him. If you find a good one, you have to give him some money. Otherwise he just won't come in a condition like this.
It's a very demanding game. It takes a lot out of you, and even to put up with these conditions, you know, you've got to be young and energetic, otherwise you can't handle it at all.
And how long do you reckon you've got in the game?
Oh, well, I'd say I'd have another 10, 15 years left in me yet.
Then what?
Oh, I don't know, I might go back to brain surgery.
This is probably one of the hardest operations on the men. This back crew, that puts the coal tar and enamel on about 400 degrees, and then wrapped with fiberglass and asbestos felt. Because of the fumes that come out of the coal tar, most of the chaps you'll see here are wearing cream on their face, most of them are dark skinned.
Do they get any extra pay for it?
No, they don't get any extra pay, but they still get fairly good pay, you know. But it is very tough on your skin. If you went over there now and got near those machines for a little while, you'd find that your face would start to burn. We also give them milk at lunchtime. This is, helps them, otherwise it upsets their stomach if they drink milk. This seems to help their digestion. But it is a rather dirty job.
Well, I was a market gardener for 4 years, and then I got a job in the city. It wasn't enough, so I decided to come out on the line, see if I could make some money. That's what I'm here for.
Actually, I was a hairdresser once, and I had a job for 18 months on the dam construction in North Queensland, and I've been after this job for about 4 years. I want this job for the money. I'm happy with money.
Does the money make it all worthwhile?
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah. You know, it's 12 months. Once that's over, that's it, you know.
And what are you going to do when you finish this job?
Finish my travels around Australia. That's what I'm working on. I'm working holiday around Australia now.
Do you think you'll stay with this job right to the end?
Yeah, I reckon I will. For about a whole year, you know.
And what?
'Cause I need the money.
Pipe's an amazing thing. I've seen concrete coated pipe flex quite considerably. You don't realise this until you see it done with pipe. A pipe flexes just like a piece of spaghetti. Well, this is one of the arts of lowering too. If you try and pick it up too short, you can bend it. But you've got to know where to put your side booms. As long as you've got your side booms and you're lowering in the right way, you won't bend that pipe, it'll flex it. Process under the contract was to put the ground back in the condition similar to what it was before construction started. It's leveled out pretty well. On this particular job, we have to push the vegetation that's been pushed off during clear and grade. We've got to push that back onto the right-of-way. This is to help regeneration, collect water.
Doesn't look too pretty at the moment, though.
No, I'll admit that. It's not up here in the best times, but after 12 months, 2 years, you probably won't hardly notice where the pipeline's been, except there won't be any trees on it. I suppose you've got to be a special sort of person to work on a pipeline. We have people come up here and hear about the good money that's being paid, but they don't seem to last very long. They only spend a few days and they decide that it's not worth it. You've got to be a bit used to the bush conditions, long hours. This, I think, stops a lot of people.
I just look forward to the day finishing, that's nice.
Well, there's nothing else to look forward to, except coming in on the beer.
Pretty good here. Pretty good traffic, you got good room, air conditioning room. You never got that nowadays. Well, I was a lad.
There is no attraction for a single man to work here very much, you know, like they'd rather be in a city and they have the highlights and all that, you know. Whereas married men, they've got something to work for. You know, I get a few quid and it's better than in a city, what I'd get, but send it home to the wife, send it back to Melbourne, got family, 4 daughters, education and it costs money.
You get a wage packet here and maybe over 600 a week, and they take half of it in tax. All the workers on this line are paying for the most of the line. They've paid for it 1,000,000 times before. The blokes have been working the last 25 or 30 years. You agree with me or what?
Well, I have no words to say which kind of ambition I have. But for sure, it's not to work for a long time in this kind of job. I like art or writing or many things in different levels. But if you want to arrive to some place like that, I think you have to pause for something like that too. Not just to learn about job, about gas pipeline, about life.
I'd say life is up here is much different than anywhere else, I suppose. But I think that all the fellas here are to make a quit, you know, trying to anyway. That's I'd say that's what keeps the people here.